Article 26. 1. Everyone has the right to education. Education shall be free, at least in the elementary and fundamental stages. Elementary education shall be compulsory. Technical and professional education shall be made generally available, and higher education shall be equally accessible to all on the basis of merit. 2. Education shall be directed to the full development of the human personality and to the strengthening of respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms. It shall promote understanding, tolerance, and friendship among all nations, racial or religious groups, and shall further the activities of the United Nations for the maintenance of peace. Parents have a prior right to choose the kind of education that shall be given to their children.
Article 27. 1. Everyone has the right to freely participate in the cultural life of the community, to enjoy the arts, and to share in scientific advancement and its benefits. 2. Everyone has the right to the protection of the moral and material interests resulting from any scientific, literary, or artistic production of which she is the author.
Article 28. Everyone is entitled to a social and international order in which the rights and freedoms set forth in this declaration can be fully realized.
Article 29. 1. Everyone has duties to the community in which alone the free and full development of his personality is possible. 2. In the exercise of their rights and freedoms, everyone shall be subject only to such limitations as are determined by law solely for the purpose of securing due recognition and respect for the rights and freedoms of others, and of meeting the just requirements of morality, public order, and the general welfare in a democratic society. 3. These rights and freedoms may in no case be exercised contrary to the purposes and principles of the United Nations.
Article 30. Nothing in this declaration may be interpreted as implying for any state, group, or person any right to engage in any activity or to perform any act aimed at the destruction of any of the rights and freedoms set forth herein.
Well, because I've grown up with the understanding that all people everywhere are equal and must be loved and respected and have equal opportunity to pursue the full potential of their lives, and that there should be no kind of discrimination and harm and social inequality towards anybody based on who they are or what faith they practice or what they do or what the color of their skin is. And now, I think it's just so apparent that everyone needs to understand that, the world cannot be a healthy place, a fair place, a just place, a peaceful place, if all of us cannot learn to respect each other and being or working towards an equitable world, a society in a world that is equal and fair and peaceful for everyone is central to Agenda 2030 of the Sustainable Development Goals. And we cannot achieve these goals if there is, if when we continue to be racist and or xenophobic or ill-treat or mistreat one another based on a difference in idea or faiths or just our understanding of what we believe life should be. I have young children and I want them to grow up in a world where everyone is treated equally, which is why this is so important to me. And of course, it's central to the agenda of the Sustainable Development Goals. And these goals exist for everyone's good and everyone's benefit. And I believe that it's essential for every one of us to speak up against racism and create a healthier and a more balanced society for all our children everywhere. You know, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights are for everyone, everywhere, and I think it's so important for everyone to understand that these rights are ours to have and to be and to become. I was having a very interesting conversation with a young little girl who's just learning about the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And she was telling me about the 30 rights and speaking about it to me with such passion and such understanding. I was just so moved by the fact that this young 9-year-old girl had understood so well what these rights are. And she said something to me that really struck me as profound. She said, "It's quite simple, really, isn't it?" And I can't help but agree. Yes, it is really simple. And it's tragic that so many parts of the world and so many people in so many places are struggling to understand how simple it is to respect this and to acknowledge it and to adopt these rights and understand how fundamental these rights are to each and every one of us, and how essential they are for us to thrive as people, as communities, as countries. And it's terrifying that there has been such a rise in racism in so many parts of the world, including in my own country. And I hope that someday everyone, just like this young 9-year-old girl, will understand how simple these rights are and how essential they are to our well-being and to our growth and for our peace. Article 27, which is essentially the freedom of artistic expression, is so essential, and especially for me as an artist, in a world and in a time when there is so much of what we're trying to do under attack and our liberties being taken away. I think what we do through the arts is truly hope to build a good world. And I really believe in the power of positive social change through the arts. And we know this historically, that the arts and culture have played such an important part in educating people, informing people, helping people become better versions of themselves, and improving societies at large. And I think being able to achieve the Universal Declaration of Human Rights is going to be so dependent on what we as people in the arts do, and how and what kind of stories we choose to tell and how we choose to tell them, and how we can celebrate inclusivity, and how we can challenge all kinds of social harm that we witness around us, and compel people to be moved, to feel empathy, to change, to introspect. And I think now more than ever before, it's so essential for people in the arts to rally together and come together and tell the stories that need to be told, so that more people who are unheard, more whose voices are being suppressed, I feel like people in the arts can help their voices be heard. And I feel so much pride that as individuals who work in the arts, we can, through the choices that we make, through the stories that we tell, can bring about so much positive social impact and really bring about true and wonderful change the world over. I think, where we are struggling for justice in all its forms, whether it is climate justice or social justice or human rights, I feel like the arts have played a very, very powerful part in helping more people understand the need for us to do better. Much like many of you, I am terrified as well every day with what I see. But I think it's so important for each and every one of us to recognize that our voice matters. Each time we stand up, each time we speak up, each time we call out acts of racism in our lives, we are making a difference. And when we work together and we create a collective voice that everyone can hear, we can make a difference. And there are great examples of young people the world over who are creating platforms to help combat online hate. There are so many young people who are setting up NGOs, who are speaking with people who are experiencing any kind of discrimination or xenophobia. They are educating people, they're helping people who are going through difficulty. And I think that this in many ways is a great source of hope for me. And I count on your action every day to make the world a more peaceful and a more equitable and a more just and a more happy place for everyone.